As you know, I watch CNN so that you don't have to, and last night I really took one for the team. I watched the almost 3-hour-long Democrat debate, a clown show so big that they split it into 2 parts with another 3 hours tonight! The good news is that everybody spoke English at least, and I'll bet you can guess what the first words were that came out of Elizabeth Warren's mouth when they were introducing the candidates. I'll give you one hint. It's someone who's been living in their head rent-free for the last 2.5 years.
Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Donald Trump disgraces the office of president every single day. And anyone on this stage tonight or tomorrow night would be a far better president.
And once Elizabeth Warren started talking, she just wouldn't stop throughout the entire night.
Of our healthcare system.
Thank you, Senator.
They do not have a God-given right to put forms in place.
Bill, it said that it would take everyone off of their insurance.
Thank you, Senator. If we could all just stick to the rules of the time, that would be great. But you exceeded your time.
It tells you how badly broken this economy is.
Senator, thank you very much.
2 cents from the wealthiest in this country would let us invest in the rest of America. And I'd like to finish talking about Addie. This isn't funny. Addie has health insurance, good health insurance, and it's not nearly enough.
We didn't learn anything new about any of the frontrunners. There were no zingers or entertaining moments whatsoever. It was actually far more boring than watching CNN on any other given night. The biggest takeaway from the evening is that the people who don't get any national news coverage but were still able to make it to the stage were the only ones who made any sense. Here's businessman and former House of Representatives member John Delaney.
We have a choice. We can go down the road that Senator Sanders and Senator Warren want to take us, with bad policies like Medicare for all, free everything, and impossible promises that'll turn off independent voters and get Trump reelected. That's what happened with McGovern. That's what happened with Mondale. That's what happened with Dukakis.
You keep making sense like that, sir, and this will be the last Democrat debate that you're ever invited to. Here's another no-name who actually does have a name. It's Tim Ryan, a representative from Ohio who also brought some common sense out of the stage.
Now, in this discussion already tonight, we've talked about taking private health insurance away from union members in the industrial Midwest. We've talked about decriminalizing the border, and we've talked about giving free health care to undocumented workers when so many Americans are struggling to pay for their health care. I, quite frankly, don't think that that is an agenda that we can move forward on and win. We've got to talk about the working class issues, the people that take a shower after work who haven't had a raise in 30 years. If we focus on them, we'll win the election.
Thank you, Congressman.
Excuse me, Congressman, I'm not sure why you're on stage with a bunch of Democrats because you sound like one of us. Why don't you just join the Trump train and call it a day? Meet John Hickenlooper. He's the former governor of Colorado who was also making way too much sense. So I have a feeling this will be the last time we ever see him on CNN ever again.
The policies of this notion that you're going to take private insurance away from 180 million Americans who many of them don't want to give it. Many of them do want to get rid of it, but some don't. Many don't. Or you're going to, the Green New Deal, make sure that every American is guaranteed a government job if they want. That is a disaster at the ballot box. You might as well FedEx the election to Donald Trump.
Are you seeing a pattern here? The only people who sound reasonable and who made any sense on stage were people that most Americans had never even heard of. I've never seen this person before in my entire life. Apparently, this is the governor of Montana, Steve Bullock.
About 2/3 of Democratic voters and many of your rivals here for the nomination support giving health insurance to undocumented immigrants. You haven't gone that far. Why not?
Look, I think this is a part of the discussion that shows how often these debates are detached from people's lives. We got 100,000 people showing up at the border right now. If we decriminalize entry, if we get health care to everyone, we'll have multiples of that. Don't take my word. That was President Obama's Homeland Security Secretary that said that.
Beto O'Rourke was able to tamp down his arm flailing slightly throughout the evening and did reveal a new plan. Aside from offering the kids free college, he wants to give them free food and pay for their rent, too.
Debt-free, four-year college, but unlike some of the other candidates on the stage, that's not just for tuition, that is room and books and board, the full cost of being able to better yourself so that you can better this country.
The way things are going by the next debate, he'll probably offer them some free gift cards to the Gap so they can get some clothes, too. Sadly, our good friend Eric Swalwell wasn't there because, as I accurately predicted, he was the first one to drop out of the race. But thankfully, Marianne Williamson made the cut and imparted us with this wisdom before the end of the show.
If you think any of this wonkiness is going to deal with this dark psychic force of the collectivized hatred that this president is bringing up in this country, then I'm afraid that the Democrats are going to see some very dark days. We need to say it like it is. And if the Democrats don't start saying it, then why would those people feel that they're there for us? And if those people don't feel it, they won't vote for us, and Donald Trump will win.
Thank you very much, Ms. Williamson.
Well, she's right about one thing. There is a dark psychic force in this country. It's called liberalism, and we're doing our best to try to get rid of it. Help spread the word by getting your Liberalism Find a Cure shirt from my online store at markdice.com, or click the link in the description below. And like all of my designs, of course, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. And there's 2 different styles on this shirt. If you don't want to get the one with the big bold design on the front, there is another version as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.